I went to boarding school in Alabama, you know, and at boarding school, one of the most important things was getting blowjobs, but the other most important thing was getting was your senior prank. The senior prank was a long-standing Indian Springs tradition that goes. My uncle's senior prank was remembered. Like, my uncle ran around the dorm circle naked, carrying an wrapping himself only in an American flag, and that was kind of a classic senior prank. And someone stole the school bell. That was kind of a classic senior prank. But the senior pranks had gotten really lame, like in the few years before my senior year. Like, people had like taken a Volkswagen Bug and put it in the library. I mean, that doesn't require a great deal of creativity. It just requires 8 people, and they were just getting kind of stupid. Somebody dyed the lake on our campus orange. I mean, whoop-de-doo. And so we'd been thinking about our senior prank for about 4 years, ever since the whole class got together and we started thinking about it. And we decided about a year before that what we needed to do is we needed to have a fake senior prank to bring the administration into a lull of false security, so that they would feel like, oh, we don't have anything to worry about now. Their stupid little senior prank is over and nobody got hurt. So one day, me and my friend Richmond Brown drove to Georgia, where they sell M80s for free. No, not for free, but they're legal.
Which are big fireworks?
Big fireworks, like quarter stick of dynamite. And we bought $200 or $300 worth of fireworks. And we went back to campus, and that Saturday night, there were 9 of us, I think. The 9 of us put on all black clothes, black ski hats, black gloves, black face paint. It was April. It was about 92 degrees. It was horrible, and we all synchronized our watches, and then we from a home base of my room, we all went out to our various stations on campus, and simultaneously at like 12:14 a.m. lit off just an ocean of fireworks, and like underneath the dean of students' bedroom and underneath the headmaster of the school's bedroom, like 700 or 800 firecrackers. There were long strings of firecrackers. They went on for like 2 minutes, and in the middle of the dorm circle, because the dorms were in like a circle, in the middle of the dorm circle, we lit this Roman candle thing that shot 100 Roman candles into the air. It was beautiful. And it shot, and the dean of students, who was the person who always tried to catch us, Mr. Lusko, just opened, through the light of the burning Roman candles flying through the air, you could see him open the door and just start running, like in slow-mo, like he was running towards something, through the Roman candles, wearing only his underwear and his white tank top T-shirt, his balls of fat rolling in slow motion as he churned across the dorm circle, almost jumping over the Roman candles because he knew right where to go, and that place was to our room. And he got to our room, and he opened the door, and Todd, my roommate, was on the roof wearing all of his black with his eyes closed so that they couldn't see the whites of his eyes, and I was lying in my bed pretending to be asleep. And Mr. Lusko burst open the door, and he pointed at me, and he said, "I know you're behind this." And I was like, "Huh? What? Huh? What are you talking about, sir?" And he was like, "John Green, if you didn't just light those firecrackers, then why are you wearing black face paint?" And I was like, oh, crap. And Raoul Meyer, the history teacher, we lit off fireworks outside of his house, too. He was like 23 years old. He seemed old to us at the time, but he was really just my age. And he found Todd on the roof, and he jumped up on the roof, and he grabbed him, and he pulled him up, and he was like, "What the fuck do you think you're doing, you motherfucker? It's midnight! You scared the shit out of me!" It was very scary. And then we all got, the punishment was work hours. You had to work a certain number of hours for whatever you did wrong, you know? And we got the chain gang, is what it was called, where we had to work 8 hours a day every Saturday and Sunday. And 4 hours a day on the weekdays with the maintenance crew, like, you know, digging holes and, yeah, like pickaxes. It just sucked. And, but it was totally worth it. Because we had completely convinced the administration that that was our senior prank. And actually, Mr. Jennings, when he was giving us giving us the work hours, he was like, "Great senior prank, guys." And so we knew that we'd lulled them into a false sense of security. My school had this thing called D-Day, which is it was founded by a communist in 1930. And
so that was the fake prank.
That was
the fake prank.
That's a really extensive fake prank.
Yeah. Wait till you get a real one.
It was founded by a communist, and he believed that the school should also be a working farm, but rich white kids don't like farming, so they basically changed the school's charter or whatever from 180 days of working the farm to 1 day of working the farm per year. The day was called D-Day, Development Day, or Destruction Day, or whatever. And we'd always have, in the morning we'd have speakers, these usually leftist speakers, and in the afternoon we'd work on the farm, which usually meant like cleaning the school bus or going out back to smoke, whatever it meant. And so every D-Day, the senior class gets to pick one speaker, the junior class gets to pick the other speaker. Our senior class picked this speaker, this child psychologist called, we'll call her Dr. Catherine Brown. And we went into Mr. Jennings' room and we said, we're going to have Dr. Catherine Brown come. She's a child psychologist at UCLA. She works with adolescent sexuality and the way that adolescents come to identify themselves sexually following puberty. And we think it'll be interesting and we think it'll be fun. And she's very well known and she's very well renowned. And Mr. Jennings said, that sounds great. So then my friend Todd and I wrote up a speech for Dr. Catherine Brown. And then that morning, the morning of D-Day, the woman came and we gave her the speech. And she walked into the auditorium and she said, "My name is Dr. Catherine Brown. I'm here today to talk to you about teenage sexuality." One of the things that I think we should start talking about is that teens, when they're expressing their sexuality, especially male teens, tend to make a joke out of it. They tend to try and be funny and be witty because they're uncomfortable with some of their sex. And then my friend Townsend Kaiser, whose parents were catfish farmers and who was about the most polite southern gentleman you'll ever meet in your life, stood up and said, "Shut up and take off your clothes!" And everyone in the school turned around just shocked because Townsend Kaiser had never said anything rude to a woman in his entire life. And I mean, it was just, everyone was flabbergasted. And everyone was like, "Townsend, are you drunk? What's wrong?" And then, but Dr. Catherine Brown was very calm about it, very understanding. And she said, "Now, what's your name, son?" And he said, "Townsend Kaiser." She said, "Townsend, that's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to talk about a very serious subject, the subject of adolescent sexuality, and then you are making a joke out of it." And then he stood back up and he said, "I'm not making a joke, lady. Take off your clothes." And then in the back of the gymnasium, I hit the music, and she took off her clothes because she was a stripper, and we paid her $300 to come there that day, and took off her clothes in front of the 8th graders and in front of the 9th graders and in front of the students and the teachers and the administration and the parents that were assembled there, some 650 people, and she stripped down to a G-string and her big fake breasts were bouncing back and forth, and she moved to give a table lap dance sort of thing to Mr. Lusko, the Dean of Students, who I pointed out to her earlier in the day. And Mr. Lusko was pretty polite about it, but discouraged her from giving him a lap dance, and after about a minute he escorted her out. She still naked from the waist up, and several great pictures were taken of it, none of which unfortunately could appear in our yearbook. But and that was the greatest senior prank in Indian Springs history, I think. We all had to get up and make formal apologies afterwards because our French teacher threatened to quit because it was misogynistic. Although we had honestly tried to hire a male stripper, but finding a male stripper in Birmingham, Alabama is no easy task. And so we had to hire